What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Scarborough Fishing. Today we're going to talk about flukes. Especially during the spring, I'm going to start throwing a lot more watermelon red flake flukes. I want to show what I got in order to test out, see what I like the most, and I want to show what I'm working with in order to throw them out. The first thing I want to show is the Googan Watermelon Red. Now the Googan Baits is really known for their scents. They have all kinds of different scents and all kinds of different baits. This one, it smells almost like a spice cake. Now, I'm not real particular on some of the Googan Baits. I feel like they're a little more expensive than what they need to be, and they're just a good average bait. But still no reason to cross them off. I'm not dedicated to them. There is some brands that I like better than them, but I'm still going to try them out and see how it works. Now, this seems like a little darker red or darker watermelon than what normally they are, especially compared to the staple, the watermelon red flake Zoom that everybody goes to. Of course I'm going to grab it. Of course I'm going to try it out. And they smell just like my father's plastic he used back in the 90s. And I mean, they just have a really good green color, all kinds of red flash from them. And if you compare it to the Googan Baits, the Googan's a little darker. Now, one thing I do like about Googan plastic is almost everything that they have them in these hard shells. It's really great for protecting them. They're not just flying around inside of this plastic bag, getting bent up and just looking absolutely horrid where you're trying to figure out what to do, or you're trying to dip them in a little bit of, almost boiling water for a couple seconds. So if you bring these out and compare them, it's definitely a lot darker bait than the Zoom. But I'm not going to write it off. I'm still going to give it a try, and I swear it just smells like spice cake to me. And that smells just like, my father's plastic that he used back in the 90s. There's a complete difference in scent. I don't know if the scent does anything or not. I don't know if it really makes a difference. I can always try it out. That's one thing I was curious about, is how dark that Googan is compared to the old staple Zoom that everybody and their father had way back in the day. Another thing that I noticed is big bite baits. I do like big bite baits. I really do. I almost would rather get them than anything else. But I have to try almost everything out there that I can try. And the one color that I want to try this time was that watermelon red flake, and they are also a darker bait than what that Zoom is. They are just a hair bit lighter than the Googan bait. But you can tell this is still yet another darker bait, just barely, but still a darker bait. You can see the salt. I mean, I can sit here and pull off the salt on it. So they are very heavily salted. So they are going to fall through the water quicker than what your standard Zoom is going to fly through it or fall through it. But still, that should be interesting to sit there and to use. I'm going to wait until the water is somewhere around the upper 40s, like 49, 48, 49, into the mid to high 50s to really start throwing this out. As you can see, if I get it to be still, this one's even bent down from being in that plastic and not inside of a hard shell. So I got to give Googan Bait one thing for that hard shell. That is a good idea to keep your bait straight, even though I really think it's matter when you're going twitch, 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 twitch. I really don't think it's going to matter. But it's just something that I personally like as an angler that made me look at it and go, oh wow, and consider it. Another one that I got from Zoom is called Houdini. This is a little bit lighter green with a ton of flake on the red flake on the bottom. I mean, there's a ton of red flake on top, a huge amount of red flake on top. This is a little bit lighter green than your standard fluke. Watermelon red fluke. Sorry, this is a little bit lighter. So I did want to try that out. It seems like the top of it's more transparent. So I don't know if that's going to make a difference, but I'm not going to write it off. I saw it and was like, you know what? I want to give that a try. Another one that I got that I was very interested in would have to be the 13 Fishing jerk. And I got it in the sweet cherry red. Is that what it is? The sweet red chili sauce. Sorry. Got 13 fish in the sweet red chili sauce. And this thing has their infamous scent, their duck sauce. It also comes in a hard plastic jar, I really like. But these things smell like peanut butter to me. I don't know what it is about their sauce, but I smell peanut butter. It's thick scent, but this one almost has a reverse to the standard, you know, watermelon red flake. This is a red jerkbait, soft jerkbait with green flake, and I really think that's kind of interesting. It puts a whole different spin on it. I really want to try it out and see what it does. I also heard these do really well on chatterbaits, especially red chatterbaits. So that's something that I'm going to try out on my jackhammers. I have a good selection of jackhammers, but that's for a different video. So yeah, this is another one that I want to try out. They're red or sweet red chili sauce. So that's really interesting. I don't know if that would make a difference between the green with red flake or the red with green flake, but I saw it. I knew I just wanted to try it. And one more that I have that I want to try is the 6th Sense. Now, I love 13 Fishing and 6th Sense. They are my two favorite brands when it comes to plastics. I just absolutely love them. 6th Sense Flush. Now, this is the sunfish juice. I didn't find it in the watermelon red flake, but this is absolutely great. It has this black pepper, a little bit of gold flake in it. I feel like when the water starts warming up and getting closer to summer, I feel like this would be a really great soft plastic jerkbait. Now, when I do soft plastic jerkbaits, I personally don't do weighted. I let them be weightless, and I use them on a spinning rod. And some people ask me why I use them on a spinning rod. It's because the budget bait casting rods that I have will not throw them far at all. They're not designed for it. They're too cheap, and they just either backlash like crazy. There's just not enough weight up there, and it's hard for me to sail it out as far as I want. So in order for me to do my soft plastic jerk, I'm actually using my father's old rod to do this. This thing sends it flying a mile. And this spinning rod, I believe you can get it right now for like $35, $40. So it's really not that expensive, but it's a really good quality. And as you can see, I already got one hooked up on here. Soft plastic, I gotta rearrange it for where I had it hooked on here. I do it your standard Texas rig style hook on here. If I get it straightened up, there it goes. Texas rig style hook. And a lot of times I won't skin flat or skin hook it right there, like most people, as you can see, most people do. They'll skin hook it, hold it there. A lot of times I don't skin hook it unless I'm in heavy vegetation. So I'm really hoping on trying this out. This is just that standard Zoom watermelon red flake. I do have a 3/0 red EMG hook on there. I found some of those and thought that was really interesting. Now for this, I do have a 10-pound fluoro leader. I have right about, I'd say 3.5, 4 foot of the leader to a 30-pound braided test. Now, all braid that I use is the Sufix 832 braid. It's really great in my opinion. Really smooth, really strong, and I don't use the braid because of the strength. I use it for the sensitivity. Why I'm using it on like any type of jerk style is because this is also my pole I'm going to use for any type of Texas rig worm or weighted worm with a 1/4 ounce tungsten or any type of wacky rig Cinco. This is the rod that I will use. Any type of like plastic that I'm going to end up using, it will be this rod. And one of the reasons why is because where I fish is a lot of river fishing. Is really difficult because there's always current everywhere. Everywhere there's current. And with the setup that I have, if there's any current, my boat just gets swept away with it. It doesn't get swept away real bad, but still gets swept away. I stay out of the main rivers and I stay back in the creeks. So no, I'm not going to get a lot of the larger fishes, but I'm going to stay away from a lot of that heavy current. That's pretty much just going to sweep me into Kentucky. And then I got to call my wife to come get me, which is not be a good thing. She would not be happy about this. One thing I love about this reel, I only just have forward, I also have back spinning. So I have my option upon what I want to do. That way, if I'm starting to pull back away from my structure, I can back spin and still pop, 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 back spin, pop, pop, pop. I feel like that would be really helpful in those situations. Other than that, that's really all that I'm going to try to do during the springtime when it comes to soft jerkbait fluke style. A lot of what I do is I won't give them time to rest. I won't sit there and pause them very much because they're just going to sit there and fall. So I'll pop, 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 pop. Give them maybe a second and a half pause between it, especially when the water starts getting warmer. The warmer the water gets, the closer it gets to like the mid 50s, the less of a pause that I will give it. The lower it gets to the mid 40s, the upper 40s, the more of a pause I'll give it, but I still won't give it very much of a pause at all. Other than that, that's really all I have. If you have any options or opinions for me, some things that you want me to try out, some things you want me to do, I will do in the best time that I have. But I'm not at an unlimited funds here. My funds strictly come from whatever I can afford, and my family has to come first. But I'm definitely open to suggesting, especially with styles and techniques. Tell me what you think, tell me what you like, send me links to other places, and I will definitely get to it, and I'll get back to you on it. So if you like what you see, leave a comment. If you don't, leave a comment. Maybe you can help me improve. And I will see you next time.